The narcissist is only okay with your absence if they know that you are pining over them, if they know that you're in their harem garage, you know, tucked away safely and soundly for future use, should your time come again, that is. Here's the thing, the narcissist harem, it's their lifeblood, it's their life force. It's where they park their discarded former supplies, and they keep them there until they deem that those individuals are worthy of their time again, so they recycle, and they can use them again. But of course, when the current supply is going according to plan, performing well, when there's no supply shortage, then the narcissist does not need to go to the harem. They just leave those people who are in the harem there as they are. But on the contrary, when the current supply, for one reason or another, is not working out, and maybe the narcissist is struggling to secure new supply so that their supply is generally running low, that's where they resort to their harem. And that's why they like to know the harem is there. It's like the water well that quenches their thirsts when they're very low in hydration and they just can't find a place to get the supply. So they need to know the harem is there. And the narcissist knows that the supply does dry up from time to time. You know, the current supply doesn't always work out. They can't always secure new people. So they have to secure past people, those that are in the harem. The thing is, people that the narcissist discarded in the past, people that they would have devastated and then discarded, most of them, not all, but most of them, even though they were low quality supply at the time the narcissist discarded them because they were devalued to the point where there was just like nothing left that they could offer, the narcissist knows that those people always have the potential to be good supply later. Basically, they recover, they become more energized, they become more aligned with who they are again, they pick their pieces back up. So that's when the narcissist likes to come back, when they know that the supply has something to offer again. But currently, most of those people who are in the harem, the narcissist would have left them in a state of devastation, which comes from that lack of closure, the confusion that comes after a narcissist breakup. Things are always left in a uneasy place. Things just don't make sense. The person is left in a state of cognitive dissonance, and most likely they're still trauma bonded to the narcissist. And the narcissist likes to keep it that way. They like to keep those that are in their harem in that confused state, in that state where they still feel bonded to the narcissist. Because all those things, all those feelings, being in that state, it makes those individuals in the harem more susceptible, more gullible, more likely to entertain the narcissist should the narcissist make an entrance again, should the narcissist try to get one of them back. But here's the thing, no one in the harem is guaranteed future supply. And the harem never has as many people in it as the narcissist would like. Of course, when people talk about narcissism and they talk about the damage that narcissists cause people, the trail of destruction, sometimes you get the impression that narcissists have almost an infinite supply of devastated people they can go back to and hoover, who would entertain them again. They have almost infinite people in the harem. And the narcissist also likes to think that. But none of that's true. In reality, the narcissist is lucky if they have even 2 or 3 people in the harem. Actually, they're probably lucky if they have one reliable person in the harem. And sometimes, and possibly very often, they have no one. Or at least no one who's of any real value. So what about you? So if you're in the harem, if you were left in a state of devastation following their abuse, they want to ensure that you stay there. So even though you don't see them very much, you're not really interacting with them, they do check up on you. They do find ways of heat checking you, or at least knowing where you stand. because they want to make sure that you're still disorientated, that you're still needy, that you're still wanting them back. Because that's what makes good harem material, and they want to make sure that you are good material. They want to make sure that you do your job well. But the moment you start to gain clarity, you understand what's happened to you and who they are, and you allow yourself to heal. And you realize you don't need and you don't want the narcissist back. Your life is so much greater than them, better without them. There's endless fulfilling things out there for you, people to engage with. The narcissist only takes, they give nothing. And when they're giving, it's only because they're going to take more later. But anyway, when you're moving on, when you come to this realization and you start to move on, of course the narcissist sees that. They typically see it quite quickly, sometimes almost in real time, and then they start to panic. They start to panic because they realize they're being left without a backup plan. Their harem is their backup plan. If you ever provided something of real value to them, if you were somebody of value and you cared for them, you supplied them well, they don't want to be left without you as a backup plan. Yeah, it doesn't sound great that you have been reduced to a backup plan, but for them, that's quite important. I mean, for them, you're nothing better than someone to cushion their fall, when the going gets tough and they have nothing. Of course, once they fall, they'll stand back up if they can. They'll wipe their feet on you. They'll discard you again, probably leaving you in a worse state than before. But the moment you decide you're no longer going to play that role, you're no longer going to be there, the moment you move on, your indifference towards them becomes very visible. They feel it. They see it. They sense it in so many ways. And it immediately disempowers them. It throws them into this state of panic. And it leaves them wanting to reach out to you. And one of their favorite ways of reaching out to you is throwing some kind of breadcrumb, a very deadly breadcrumb, where if you latch onto it, somehow they manage to devalue you in such a way where they take you down a few notches and you find yourself settling back into the harem where you were before, where they need you. So, as long as you're aware of that, and you do reach that point of clarity where you're picking your pieces back up, where you're moving on, you become indifferent towards them, and you have a zest for the things you want to do for yourself, don't take the crumbs when they come. Don't entertain anything they throw your way, because they will try. It starts subtly. It might be subtly, but it tends to be impactful if you latch onto it. Of course, the narcissist will have to face their own demons if they feel they're losing you as a backup plan. Because when the narcissist fears that they might not have supply, that they might not be able to get their needs met, they do panic. Their internal struggles, their internal demons do come to the forefront. And they're in a very difficult place. But that's their battle, not yours.